Hey everybody, we're live. We made it. We murdered all the technical gremlins, and we are that D&D podcast. My name is Andrew Otway. Tonight we will be hopefully entertaining you as we play some 5th edition.
Woo!
Woo.
Oh, the 5th one. Sorry, I was in 3. Hold on a second.
Okay.
Let me change the dial.
Yeah, thanks.
Can you see everybody?
Yes.
All right, we're gonna go with that. I'm not gonna press any buttons.
Neat.
Oh, well.
Hi everybody. Mike J. Ugh. We'll just restart over, get it in post. Hi everybody. Mike J. Darks and Brard here. GM Mike, if you like. We have another 5th edition adventure for you tonight. We already went over all of this literally. Does anybody remember what happened last week? Ooh, volunteers. You. With the hand raised in the back.
That was me coughing. Sorry. We went to a crappy place underground. Nobody read the sign, and I pulled it, and I saved the party, and they were really not appreciative. And then we saved all the goblins, and then I think we got on some minecart tracks to go explore the Nether or something.
That was 1 for 1. Precisely what happened. Got every important beat, and I'm sure everybody listening at home knows exactly what the heck happened.
Yeah, that was real strong. Good job.
Welcome. I try.
I've been saying that a lot. I wish I'd stop saying strong.
So
an attempt was made.
We investigated an abandoned dwarven thaig because it seemed like the thing to do, and the goblins were talking about it. And Vashla kind of was like, yeah, let's go. And the rest of us were like, yeah, sure, seems legit. We murdered a couple golems. We broke a drawbridge and then fixed the rest of it. It was, there was a weird golem who was dragging around ore and, like, making really shitty weapons. I did a ritual and, like, purified the forge, and Fritz spent probably 2 of the 3 hours of the session just staring at it intently off camera.
And using it.
He's a very intense starer.
There was some very tasteful music involved.
Careless Whisper.
Yes.
Look what you did. Look what you did.
Listen, this is apparently what the fans want. So yeah. Kaith goes off to scout because Kaith scouts. Hears a banging on the wall and decides to report that to us last. We go to investigate because someone might need help. And then I tried to save a life and was roundly denied by my bodyguards. And then Kaith pulled a lever and dropped some lava on the person, who turned out not to be a person.
Nobody read the sign.
Listen, the reason is you mentioned it to us while I was trying to stop him, and then you're like, hey, look at this, totally not a distraction.
Vashla, I can't control the order that events happen in.
I mean,
I would have told you beforehand had I discovered it beforehand. It's fine. I'm not bitter. Just,
Somebody's bitter bird.
I can't fly. I could scout, but then nobody listens to me when I tell them stuff, so it's fine.
So yeah, murdered a vampire with some lava.
Not technically a vampire, but yes.
Okay. A legally distinct vampiric entity.
Semi-vampire.
Who I was trying to heal. I totally would have healed and saved him. I don't have a messiah complex. Why do people keep saying that? Went downstairs, interred a bunch of stuff, followed like dwarven burial bureaucracy. It seemed a lot like bureaucracy. And then we smashed an obsidian. Like everything downstairs was all like mid-battle and rot-y with the capital R. And there's like an obsidian portal that we smashed, and not that obsidian portal. We're not getting sued by a website.
A legally distinct obsidian portal.
Well, this was a volcanic glass portal. There we go. and then hopped in minecarts because apparently the dwarves live in the Donkey Kong country.
Yep.
We can't stop here. This is
D-
Kong country.
Donkey
DK
Kong tree.
DK stands for Dwarven Kingdom.
Got there.
Fuck.
Ooh, nice. All right. So, the rail ride is comfortable. It is fast, and it is safe. And none of those things are true. So it's pretty apparent almost immediately that this is not meant for people so much as things. And if, for example, they were using it to ship goblins, it was not out of, the best place in their heart. It is bumpy, and what feels like every few, I don't know what you can measure time, like kilometers or furlongs or leagues.
Hogshead.
Yeah, every hogshead you have to, the cart automatically slows to a stop, and there's like a light that flicks on that says track interruption detected, and you wind up having to jump off, and presumably Fritz or someone mechanically minded winds up tinkering with stuff, pulling rocks off the tracks, fixing ties, that sort of thing, and every time you do this. It always seems to be in this relatively wide open space with cross paths. Like, there's other places you can go here. It's not just tunnels bored through with tracks laid down. It is fairly complicated. There are winding tunnels here and there. And there's always the vague sense that you're being watched as you hop out to repair these issues that you come across.
It's probably fine.
And the other thing is it's incredibly loud. This mechanism that causes these things to speed up is loud and hot and makes a shrieking sound every once in a while. And when it stops, it also makes the similar sort of shrieking sound. Not unlike a steam engine, like the hissing and the chunk, clunk, chunk, 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 chunk. And the brakes are metal on metal and screech and squeal as they come to a halt. And the otherwise quiet caves make it seem even louder.
I don't like it. It's too loud.
But you arrive at your location unmolested.
I'm trying to find a way to make a joke with Rockwell, and I want to feel like somebody's watching me, but I can't quite get there. So I just want it logged that I tried.
Noted.
An
Thank you.
attempt was made.
It's going to be something with like Voshlin, does she know these rocks well? But
It's not bad.
I couldn't close, so. So we've arrived at a destination which I'm thinking we chose purely by like just getting in one of these things and pointing it in a direction.
Straight.
Well, I failed to ask you before you got in where you were going. So I wanted to make it as vague as possible while also, sort of ominous and foreshadowy.
I was intending to take the tunnel. The goblins were telling me that the tunnel would be a faster way to get back to town. Like the place we originally came from with the orders and everything.
Oh, like the Contessa's place.
Yes. So somewhere closer there.
So if you are going, this is not at all the size that I wanted this map. That it's tiny. Please show me the big. Okay, so, lame. All right, let's fix this. So are you guys heading back to Lorca, where you met the Countess?
I believe that's where we were headed, yeah.
Okay.
Also, just a heads up, if I have to leave in a hurry, it's because my neighbors decided to burn their dinner and their apartment down.
Okay. Be safe.
Scorched earth approach. None shall know of this failure.
So let me pull up the notes for that location.
How long was the train ride? And how uncomfortable?
It was fast, but very uncomfortable.
Okay.
If you have to travel over days, you will not become rested.
Okay.
Like,
not even a short rest, like the 1 hour one.
it is so much faster that
Okay.
it's so like that's the penalty that you pay.
Okay.
You can rest when you get to the other end of it, but while you're traveling, it's not restful.
Cool. Just checking.
Yeah, it's hot. It's loud. There's no concentration is nearly impossible. At least with the tracks in the current state, that's not possible. Maybe if Fritz or Vasha or someone else technically minded could come up with a solution here, that's absolutely a possible thing that you could spend resources on.
Maybe we could get together with the goblins and teach them a trade.
Track
trade is
polishing.
Trainmanship.
Train them.
Teach them a train. Yes. All right. So you were like a couple days ride, and you get back there in like an hour.
Oh yeah, we had horses somewhere.
Not
Did we?
horses anymore.
We had a cart.
We had a cart.
Yeah.
What was its name?
Horse.
Pretty unoriginal, I think. I hate it.
Literally, you asked.
Yeah.
Literally, you were like, "Hey, I am
No.
opening myself up for this obvious reference to this thing I
Yeah.
hate."
Nope. I did a bad.
Okay, so we're vaguely proximate to Lorca.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the cool thing about this, there is no Tig. There's not another Tig that close.
Mhm.
No.
It would fall under the purview of the previous one. Anything within like a day's cart distance is considered like
I
theirs.
actually kind of pictured it being a depleted mine that was still connected, but not necessarily. Nobody had a reason to go there, and there weren't any carts on the mine end, so it's like nobody could go to the Tig.
Oh, there you go. That's even better. I like it. Yeah, put down a mental note for a mine there. Tink. That's not it. Here, let's take a note on a new layer called notes. That right above the boundaries, but below everything else, and we'll call it. There is a.
Gee, I wonder who wrote that.
Cool table. What? Cool. I don't understand. Why is there a cool table? Oh, he's sitting at the cool table, or the bird is, with a hat and a Tim staff. This is some great audio here, but everybody can see this too. Good.
No, it's actually covered by my character sheet right now, but I've moved it out of the way. Also, I made it a pool table.
Yes.
I get it.
I want to double check how many first level spells I have left, so that's what I'm doing quietly right now.
So you guys arrive at the depleted mine and make your way back up topside, and it's stunning. It's very bright and sunny, and it's nice to be back in the fresh air, at least for the 3 or the 4 of you. But it's also way super bright, and that's a little bit disconcerting to go from kind of the dark. Oh wait, most of you have blind night vision, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So Nathi, do you have it too?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, your
Oh,
horizontal
One
one
who
doesn't.
is not here right now.
Yeah, so none of you care in the slightest. It's fine. You wander back out in the light, close your night eyelids, and open your day eyelids.
Day lids, obviously.
Perfectly normal thing.
Yeah.
And you close the extraneous pair of eyes that you don't need anymore. And make your way down to Lorca. Now, there is a bit of a commotion going on near the eastern gate. and you can see that is someone rounding up. There's a fire going on.
The gate is on fire, and it's not our fault.
There's a big old bonfire that's raging outside the eastern gate.
Does it look like it's on a festival or something?
No one there seems festive.
Is it on good fire? I think Jordan is asking.
Yeah.
There is a huge amount of people in attendance, and none of them look happy, except for about a dozen people wearing like breastplates and holding the cheap rifles.
Until you described what they were wearing, I was going to say that still sounds like Burning Man.
Burning Man. Yeah, they've got the red vestments on of the Southern Inquisitorius breastplates. And they're holding rifles, and then there is a man with a fancy hat reading out of a book.
I'm going
Also
to go
wearing the
across
red vestments.
this fancy hat man.
I'm gonna tag along behind.
I'm gonna tag along further behind, like way kind of like 50 yards behind.
As you're getting closer, you can start hearing him. He's reading from a book, and the book has choice quotes such as "Do not put your faith in things, for things will fail. Things are made by men and women, and things that are made by men and women fail and are doomed to failure. However, they can be made again. You may only put your faith in things of the flesh, for other things are non-eternal." Blah 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 blah.
Point of order. Things of flesh are also made by man and woman.
Oh,
Generally
Yes,
speaking.
But they can also make, and therefore they are like unto God, but superior because they exist.
I'm sorry, did you just say...
Did I just say what?
that there's no gods?
Yes.
I was gonna ask if this was the Church of the Ecstasy of the Flesh.
I mean, it fucking sounds like it. Let me just see what this spell do. Of course I don't have it written down here. That'd be useful. Thaumaturgy.
I don't know what doors.
That's the actual... There are flames nearby, you said? Like there's a bonfire?
Yeah. There is indeed a bonfire.
Okay. I'm going to cause those flames to change color for 1 minute. And they will burn the same color as like the insides of my eyes.
White?
Oh my god.
Well,
No,
no,
it's
because
like gold.
because I'm a tiefling.
So black fire.
Ooh. That could be fun.
Black is also it doesn't have the best connotations here.
I mean, listen, it's not rot, which is like bright fucking orange.
Yep.
Thaumaturgy is free for you to cast, right?
Yeah, casting times 1 action, and it just
So
0 levels.
the other one is you could change the appearance of your eyes for a minute. Then you could change the fire.
Yep. To match that same color, yeah.
And you could make the ground tremor.
Hey, are you gonna give yourself pink eye?
Just like there we go.
Pink fire doesn't really have a good like wow effect.
I mean, I don't know. I played a lot of City of Heroes, and I had a couple pink fire characters, and they looked rad. So, but yeah, I basically want to make the fire like. Fuck, I really like the idea of bright pink fire now, actually, that you mention it. I make the fire hot fucking pink.
That's with thaumaturgy, right?
Yep.
So, the Inquisitor raises an eyebrow and holds up his hand and summons a glowing sphere of multiple colors after muttering a brief incantation. And he says, yes, magic is made by man, not the gods.
Is there anyone like injured around? Is there anyone that I can No, that's a shitty idea. I was gonna give him guidance, and I was like, that just helps him be an asshole.
I just walk away for a minute. I'll be right back,
Okay.
guys.
Okay. He's tinkering with the minecart.
Mm.
He's putting a spoiler on it.
Lowering it.
And gold plated.
Oh my
Both
god.
things. How much downforce does the spoiler have? I don't know. How much does the spoiler weigh?
I really like the idea of a minecart on hydraulics.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, and then like pink flames shoot out.
Yeah.
Maybe you should have spent the money on your teachings instead of having the minecart gold plated and lowered.
Capable of talking in two distinct intonations.
And then he comes over and he picks at the insignia on your sleeve.
Yeah. Excuse me.
And then he like wipes his hand on his robe and turns away from you.
What is being burned in this pyre?
Is it the
Vashna.
countess?
What'd you say?
I said, is it the countess?
Oh my gosh, that's dark even for my games. No, that's about right for my games. But no, it's not the Countess. It's you recognize several items of faith. That's the sort of things that your late husband might have collected or kept or looked at. Like there's a statue to Odin sort of thing. Lots of books, including like prayer books or like
Hymnals.
like collections of stories that make people feel good because like anything that implies that there's life eternal, right? That there's
Yeah.
something beyond this our brief struggling time on the earth as we muck around in the soil and then die.
So I mean, Vasha definitely notices. She's familiar with people acting like this, and I mean, it was one of the reasons she was kind of loath to bring her husband to this house to begin with. But she's not necessarily huge on religion either, and she kind of feels like they would be outnumbered. So all she can do at this point is kind of, not that these guys are assholes. There's not a lot she's going to do right now, especially when Sinrathi is talking to the dude in charge. Probably the most you'll see from her is like her knuckles turn white as she like rests her palms like on the pommel of her hammer.
Gotcha. Okay. Keith, you are doing a thing. What are you doing?
I don't like these guys, so I'm drawing my bow and putting an arrow in it.
There are alternative means of conflict resolution.
I haven't shot anybody, boss.
This is Andrew saying that. I'm assuming you're 150 feet away.
I'm probably getting a little bit closer, but I
Close
can't
enough
hear
for
anything.
message.
All I see is somebody being shitty. So
Close enough for message.
It's 120 feet.
Well, Keith is moving closer.
Fair.
let's say I'm like, I don't know, like not close enough to catch the conversation, but arrowing distance if needed. Like 50 or 60 feet.
We don't know that, Bert.
50
No,
or 60
but-
feet could be an arrowing journey.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Just go ahead and roll me a stealth check while you're at it.
Okay.
Unless you're not being stealthy, in which case I'm fine.
14.
14's pretty good.
I'm good at two things, hiding and shooting.
So they're just burning prayer books at this point?
Yeah, it's nothing. I mean, it's all items of sentimental value.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And the Inquisitor, after
What, like, do they have
Either this
legal authority to do this, or do they claim authority? Is their authority granted by anything other than their guns?
That's a complicated question.
I know.
That's what we're here
Okay.
for.
Yeah.
So nominally, if they're allowed to operate in the city, then they have authority. But the Inquisitorials have claimed all of the South as their domain.
Do we have more authority?
Yeah. I was
So
wondering that.
you have the authority of the crown,
Mhm.
ostensibly. So people can't really say no to you.
Mhm.
They're not supposed to.
Okay.
But the crown carries less weight here.
Mhm.
And while people may like you, like the Inquisitorius doesn't. The ruling population, the minor nobles that call this place their home, will resent you. And there are not a whole lot of ash wardens down here to begin with. There are, the highest concentration is in Cenotaph, with a few of them scattered around Sandshield, Ashfall, Vine Rise, and Sea Home. There's like outposts there for you guys to get whatever you need and check in. But aside from that, it's like a couple hundred people trying to keep 15,000 square miles healthy.
We're the judge dreads of this place.
Might be closer to call us like Northwest Mounted Police, honestly.
Yeah.
So the Inquisitor has shown, for lack of a better word, disdain. He didn't say anything very clearly.
Yes.
But and he's gone back to preaching in front of the fire in front of the people who are standing there.
God, do I just counter preach him?
Yes.
So the other thing I can do with taumaturgy is make my voice a lot louder.
Hey, do you want to use me as one of your, like, I'll put the bow away. I could be like one of your success stories, like faith can cure the rot.
No, I am not claiming that I can cure the rot in public yet. You were a beta. I've had a couple successful iterations since, but no, this show is
better at it, haven't you?
I have. This show is still not ready for prime time, and a dude still lost his leg, so
It must be real rough losing your ways of getting around.
I would imagine so, but unfortunately, but thankfully, I don't have to empathize. I can only sympathize.
Yeah, let me tell you, it sucks.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to counter preach. Tell these people to not give up hope. I have an even dumber idea.
You have a rap battle.
No, I have fire resistance, so I'm tempted to like do my preaching from on top of this pyre.
Oh, I thought you were gonna start spitting pink fire.
No, I spit hot lava. Yeah, I think I'm just going to get like uncomfortably close to the pyre. Maybe fish out a couple baubles that look like if anybody is reaching in for something, maybe I grab it and hand it to them or something. But otherwise, I'm going to give a sermon on like how one must not lose faith and one must not lose hope, and never is it more important than in times as trying as these. And I'm definitely using taumaturgy to make my voice 3 times louder.
You should definitely do that as you're walking around, like.
Oh yeah.
But like, yeah, like you maybe like in a quiet, normal voice go like, "Here you go," and then you just keep going back to preaching.
Yeah, and I'm like pulling stuff out with my tail.
Mm-hmm.
We could hand stuff out for you if you want.
I'm guessing
You could
like
look majestic standing on a fire.
well, I don't think I want to stand on the fire because that would probably kill me pretty quickly. It's resistance. It's not immunity.
Mm.
And I don't have like immunity from fire yet. I have guiding bolt. So
Gotcha.
I'd prefer to not be near the fire, so it's good too.
Can't imagine why.
So is it Kaith doesn't want to be near the fire, or is it something inside Kaith?
Is there a difference?
I mean,
I
A
mean,
little bit.
is there?
at this point, I don't want to make that call.
So as you guys are picking stuff, like the Inquisitor realizes that he's not going to be able to be outshouted, or like he's not going to outshout you.
Yeah.
So he he steps back and lets you work the crowd for a little bit. But as you like start pulling stuff out of the fire, he takes a moment to like judge the distance, and when you put out the flames, he make sure I get this exactly right, because D&D is all about VNC and metric systems, and that's pretty cool, and I want to use that.
Oh, good. He's going to like cause a flare up into my face.
There was a time when I remembered everything about every one of these spells, and now I have to actually take a look at them again.
So I'm kind of getting the feeling that Sinarathi is gonna get shot at or something by something. I would like to deflect that if possible.
Sure. So they're not. Sinrathi is not getting shot,
Okay.
quite explicitly.
Yes.
The stuff they take out of the fire is.
Okay.
Wait.
I still want to deflect if I can.
Okay.
Are they using physical stuff or magic stuff?
Magic. The Inquisitor
Okay. Yeah, I
Like
can't do
mage-
anything.
mumbles some
Sorry.
words.
Mage hand dunking
And-
it out of my hands.
Yes. And mumbles some words and does like magic fingers sort of thing.
I don't think mage hand
And
can it grab
bolt
something
of-
someone else is holding?
a bolt of a ray of fire springs from his fingertips
Oh,
and relights the item.
I think I'm going to get in the way of it.
You've got somebody who's super said they would do it for you too.
I get in the way of it. I take this hit better than anyone else in our party.
I kind of pictured your back is turned.
I mean, it makes it easier for it to hit me in the back.
Well,
So-
let me roll for them first.
Yeah.
So, and I've never actually played 5th edition.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not really sure how the game is played. I only know how to GM it.
I was about to say, you know how to play it? Whatever the hell way we want to.
So I mean, it's
How to cast spells? Like, my spell casting ability is 8 plus my proficiency bonus. So attack
Yep.
modifier is your proficiency bonus plus your intelligence modifier.
Yeah.
So what's my proficiency bonus? Like level
if you're
3?
level 3, Jesus, this person is faster than we are. I think that's still 2. I think it goes up to 3 at
Yes.
4.
I have it
Or
open.
5?
It goes up to 3 at 5, 4 at 9, 5 at 13, and
So yeah, it's
6
still
at
2.
17.
Unless
so
you
it's
want
2
to
plus
throw.
int modifier, and like what's a reasonable int modifier for
A caster? Probably
yeah,
good.
a PC
2 or
level
3.
caster?
2 or 3.
Plus 2 or 3, yeah.
All right, so let's call it 5 then.
So 8 plus 5.
It's just 5
Okay.
because
D20 plus 5.
I
That seems good. That seems fine.
believe that's how that works.
That's what I cast at.
Right.
He rolled an 11? That doesn't seem great.
Nope. Unfortunately, I'm a caster. And in
does that mean?
fact, I'm a sorcerer. I have an armor class of 11.
Okay.
Well,
Can I make
how
it?
did
So he's not attacking you. He's attacking the thing you're holding.
Right.
right?
But I'm willing to get in the way of it.
I think Vosh is willing to get away. There's a game of Get Down, Mr. President happening. Right?
Yes.
All right. So
Um,
Sanathi, what are you doing?
I mean, if I hear or see the thing coming, I'm going to like turn my back so it hits me and not this. I'm picturing like kids shoot like I don't know, doll or something. Like maybe they have a doll in the like face of King Ash or something.
Okay.
I also don't know if a doll has more than 10 hit points.
Probably not. So what is the what are you gonna roll here for knowing and preempting this attack?
I mean, like, I don't think I'm fast enough to do it, honestly. Like, it's magic. It moves quick.
Right.
So I'm probably going to try and fuck up, and I'm assuming Vashla might have a chance of intercepting because she has an ability that lets her do the thing.
Like, if there's a skill that you can think of that might apply to another mage casting a spell, this will be a place for it.
I mean, Arcana would be the thing.
Counterspell.
I don't know that I get that.
I'm not sure if it's an actual spell or how that works in here.
Yeah, they are casting an actual spell. The Inquisitor is.
Oh, it's a 3rd level spell, so I don't have it yet.
So yeah, I mean, if you want to just like preempt their
Yeah.
casting, like recognize that they're casting a spell and like try to get the drop on them. Did you roll something?
No, I'm about to.
Okay.
Boop. 14. I am Arcana.
And that seems pretty reasonable, right?
I'm pretty Arcana.
Um.
Is that enough for me to
Vashla.
get in the way of it?
Well, so I think that's enough for Vashla to have their danger sense triggered, right?
Yeah. I mean, I probably noticed it before Sinrathi did, to be honest. Because, I'm not preaching or plucking things out of the fire. I am watching those guys. So.
I really want this to hit one of us, so we have a pretense to, like, take them to Magic Court.
Yeah, I mean, also, from what I've gathered in my travels with Sinrathi, he's a little oblivious to things that are dangerous. So, gotta make sure.
Okay, that's reasonable. So yeah,
Listen,
Sorry.
Vashla, just because I have a 1 in perception doesn't mean you get to throw shade at me.
so Vashla, what is the ability that you're using here?
Well, so my protection thing actually only works in combat, and what it does is I make the enemy roll disadvantage if I'm within 5 feet of a party member.
Okay.
But I was planning on just taking the hit because I am really beefy and I have an awesome shield, and like my armor class is 18.
Gross.
So I think it would miss your armor class.
Yeah.
Links ineffectually off of her.
Which, yeah, is like deflecting off or whatever.
Right.
Which looks cool as hell.
Yeah, I mean that's why I wanted to do it. It's like, I don't care. Try that again. I mean, like, obviously I wouldn't do that.
So you do that. Sinrathi, you move to jump in front of the thing, and you're not quite fast enough to do so. But like Vashla's there with her shield, and I gotta get water. 1 second. And while you do, it's not entirely clear to everyone else what exactly happened. If the Inquisitor was attacking you, or if, there was a ray of fire. A dwarf caught it with her shield. Right, accounts differ from there.
Yeah.
When I grab water up behind me, tell me what you're thinking.
I mean, if Vashla doesn't do anything, I think I very, like, not gingerly, but in a sort of very controlled manner, hand off whatever object I'm holding, and then I'm going to turn around and just berate this asshole for effectively just unreasonable use of force, especially for someone as so untrained as him. Where the fuck does he get off using actually harmful magic when clearly he can't help but almost hit 2 different people along the way. Like, where does he get off this fucking hedge wizard of getting in the way of his moral superiors who aren't destroying the property of the hardworking men and women of Lorca? You utter fucking buffoon.
I'm just imagining this all going over my head.
Oh, yes.
I probably have my warhammer behind my shield, but like the hammer is resting on the ground. I've got like both hands and my chin resting on the pommel, just as like Sinrathi is throwing massive shade, and just like some shit-eating grin, or just like that, like, oh no, your spell did nothing to me.
Well, give me performance.
Not intimidate? I thought I was being intimidation-y. If you want me to be working the crowd, then sure, that's cool.
If you want to be intimidated, that's fine. We'll intimidate.
I want this wizard to piss himself the next time he goes to cast Firebolt. That's a 9. I give up.
You can guide yourself. Don't forget.
Sure. Let's add a D4 to that.
That's a 10.
It's a 12.
12's much better than a 9.
It is. It's an order of magnitude higher.
Yeah, the Inquisitor stiffens his back, and like he puts his hands behind him, and he says, "Ready your weapons." And the half dozen or so conquistador types behind him raise their shitty rifles up to their cheeks.
I'm imagining this is the part where Fritz comes out of the mine. It's like, what are these assholes doing?
In my mind, Fritz didn't bother stopping. He could care less about religious squabbles or whatever these people are doing. He had a report to deliver to the Countess.
So you went up the keep.
Yeah, I'm not with these. This not the Ash Warden's responsibility to deal with whatever the heck's happening here. I wasn't really expecting a fight.
That's fair. I'm hoping to disarm it before it gets to true levels of stupidity. But it's good to know that you aren't a man of your word and you don't possess the courage of your convictions. You utter coward, you gutter snipe, you stain upon this southern continent. Be gone from my sight.
So that's not Fritz you're talking to, right?
No.
Okay.
No, that's the Inquisitor. Fritz has a job to do, and I actually respect that Fritz is like results oriented.
Yes. Same.
So I'm pausing for a second because I keep expecting Kaith I see Kaith typing. I keep expecting like a 1d20 roll to pop out there.
And just like, boop.
Yeah.
I really want us to shame them into like submission.
Mm-hmm.
If this breaks into a fight, then I feel like I have failed.
I have the party's back. I'm not particularly good at talking people down from situations, so I'll hang out on the side with my weapon drawn, and if things go bad, they go bad, and if not, then I get a little bit of dust that I have to, swat off of my knees.
And you don't get any new boots.
People boots.
That's kind of the problem.
People skin boots. So Sinrathi, you're trained in insight. Go ahead and roll me a d20 plus 3.
Oh, I am
Push the
trained in
insight
insight. Boop. Hey, that's a 14. Let's see what the D4 does for that. Hey, 18. Nice. Thanks, God.
So you totally have intimidated this dude.
Yeah.
And they're falling back on the bluff of power, or the promise of fight.
Yeah.
Like, you intimidate somebody and they get scared. Their response is to punch you. Like, they feel it's clear from their body language that they are grotesquely embarrassed and feel like they're losing a face.
Mm-hmm.
And like respect and shit, and the only response that this person feels like they have is to shoot at you.
I mean, I think what's the out I can give them? I think the out I can give them is, let's discuss this in a more civilized manner.
There's an arrow already aimed at the back of your head.
Let's discuss this in a more civilized manner. I'm buying the first round down at the pub. and then I do the Luke shoulder like brush off of my robe, turn around, and I'm gonna head into the like area outside of the walled city.
No, instead we will go up to the keep and we can discuss your
How you assaulted a knight of the Ashen Empire. Yes.
your insurrection against my lawful activities here with the Countess or the Duke if I need to go that high.
I just laugh at him.
Gotcha.
He's an irresponsible hedge wizard. He's a moron, and he is someone whose reach far exceeds his grasp.
All right.
And I have an assassin bird.
Right. That's the other thing.
Aaron, say that.
Said he's not even a hedge wizard. He's like a fern magician.
All right. So you. Why do these notes?
I wonder how much shame damage he took.
Whatever the die was, you crit on it. So
here we go. Okay, well, that's good enough for now. Fern magician. So you make your way back to the city on the castle on the hill in Lorca, and Fritz, you've already gotten there. So what are you doing in the meantime?
I was debriefing the Countess on the task she sent me on, so letting her know what we found in the city was devastated by the rot, which we took care of. And it's been, I don't know, a month or 5, I have no idea, since that session happened. So there was some sort of group, the people that are in charge of the grain carts. I don't remember their name, unfortunately.
They did have a name. We knew the name of their cult.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yes. The name of the cult was established in our shared setting creation as the inevitable decline.
Yes, them.
The rot cultists.
So yeah, probably relating what I know of how they behave and how they operate in a theater and where they're most likely to hit. She has a serious problem in her kingdom.
Gotcha. They're over looking over a kind of a 3D map, like a board. No, it's an old style cartographic map, and it's not really to scale. It's not super well done. And she and her advisors are looking over it, and she's in mostly the same position that she was when you left. She looks increasingly haggard, like not super continually stressed. Like there is more going on that's bothering her. And you notice on the table that there are only a few of these village markers that are dotted around the area of Lorca. There aren't many, and there are spots in the table, like on the table for where they should have been, like circles with village names, and there are names like Mudtown and Stone Bottom and Barrel Fed and like
Scrabhurst.
Scrabhurst, yeah. These are all not places of typically high repute. They're named after the family that founded it or something interesting nearby, like Swamp Elbow. And She
Lovely
picks
place.
up the town that you mentioned. She picks up the little marker that she had for Visnar.
Yeah.
And she moves it off the table. And there's like 4 of these villages left here around here. And she looks at you and she says, if you have any idea how to feed, how many people to say in here? Like a couple thousand, maybe? Yeah. If you have any ideas on how to feed 1,500 people on the grain being produced by less than 4 villages, now would be the time to tell me. Because we are already unsustainable, and with the loss of Visnar, we face starvation.
She does understand what, like, areas of expertise are, right?
I imagine Fritz is fairly well read in history, considering how many points I apparently have in it.
He learned him a book.
Yeah, Fritz has not much of a social life.
Oh.
So there's probably something in the Ash Warden's library that is used, or like during siege logic. I'm guessing there's more of a militaristic library focus. So perhaps there's something in that history that could provide insight into their current situation.
Sure.
Okay. So we'll just give that a shot. So clearly we need to stretch this food for as long as possible, and the town is not lost. The rot has been quelled, and there are survivors. If we can get people out there, we can revitalize these towns. And now that we have a known infestation, the Ash Wardens, I'm fairly certain we offer support. I'm not sure exactly, but I'm sure we'll offer support. Yes, for this.
We're the support.
Yeah, I know.
Hey,
We will continue offering our support.
So the other thing is that with the 16 in history, that in situations like these, it's retreat is advisable.
Retreat to like the Duke's area?
Well, just consolidate the population.
What about teaching the goblins how to farm?
I don't know if they can afford that.
I just want to bring them like into the fold within society. Like, just they deserve good homes.
They have them. They have dwarf homes.
Yes.
They have the best homes right now.
Yeah.
Assuming the
Even-
rot doesn't come back and take them all out.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
besides
sure
the
they're
point.
fine.
We still don't know what opens portals.
No, but I did all those labels, and it still gets me. When Mike was like, "Oh, thank God," because they were all gonna die at once.
Goblins open portals.
You've seen firsthand what happens with untranslated labels.
That's right. Someone pulls the rain and fire from the sky lever, and people die.
Why would you even have one of those?
Everything in
Dwarves
that
are crazy.
everything in that tag now is like the Batman from the 70s, with just like there's a giant label on a thing. It's just
Yeah,
like
because the
thing-o-meter.
goblins think that it's Vashla. Like Vashla made the labels, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Goblins think that dwarves label everything.
I think.
So
I
like
think
like
even
Burke
with
has
the
a label that
goblins-
says hat on his head.
Oh my my god.
He has a tattoo under his hat which says, "Oh my god, my hat's been stolen."
Yeah. If you can read this, my hat fell off.
No. It's a missing poster of his hat. Missing hat.
Yeah. So, Fritz, like, historically, the way to resolve this issue is to take the people out of the town at gunpoint if necessary, put them in the fields in nearby villages to feed other cities, and hopefully, eventually, there'll be more people, and you can repopulate the fallen city. That's the easiest way to deal with these sorts of problems. The hardest is to find city people from other cities and force them to work at the villages around here. That's harder because it requires you to go find people to conquer and import.
Import. That's a word for it.
It's a history book. It's not like ethics.
Mhm.
History tells you this happens. Ethics tells you it was a bad idea.
That's fair. I just was laughing at the word choice.
I imagine finding a way to incentivize people to become farmers.
I mean, not starving is pretty good incentivization.
You have, I don't know, an armory of apparently abundant wealth there. You've already considered becoming an arms dealer.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah, we should make Sir Thomas Ashforge Thomas? Ashsmith Thomas. We should make him into an ironmonger.
Yeah, I get it. So she considers this for a moment, and she says, well, there's really only one group that would be that interested in buying that many weapons. And that's when the Inquisitor kicks in the door with Sinrathi, Vashla, and Keith trailing behind, demanding to see the Countess.
Yes.
I'm going to let this idiot talk first.
How do you address a Countess? Whatever. My lady, you may have noticed that there are curs running wild in your street. Unhealed, not unbrushed, uncombed, unkempt, wild, flouting the law, and disrespecting the order.
Yeah, they bear the
that we
colors
are
of the
attempting to help.
Inquisition.
And flouting the authority that you have rightfully given me. The Inquisition is not attempting to help your town out of the goodness of its heart, although we do that. We are here to save your souls.
I was gonna say, like when he was talking about curs, I was gonna be like, don't sell yourself short. Somebody taught you speak.
I think I let Vashla get that one in, actually. Instead of mine. Yeah, and they even wear the colors of the Inquisition.
And if you cannot control these dogs that have wandered in from the outside, perhaps the Inquisition will withdraw their support.
And
Or
what good has the Inquisition done for Lorca, then? What have you done aside from burn belongings in the streets? What have you given to Lorca?
There is the grain shipments that we bring in to help keep this filthy hovel fed.
Can I shoot Keith a knowing look like we should inspect their grain shipment? Because we should inspect their grain shipment.
You could just message her.
I could totally use, yeah. Yep. Yeah, because the last time I heard of a grain shipment...
Shoot Kate a message.
Yeah, I just text Keith a message.
You do a little bow draw.
Yeah. Text Kate, please, PLZ, inspect grain. K, thanks.
You got like a nod and a quick whistle.
Yeah.
Is the grain here already? or is it on the way?
I mean, and this grain shipment is where precisely?
Oh, you mean the continual grain shipment that arrives every few days?
How we weren't even gone that long. We were
Grain
gone
is so
what?
scarce.
Like
Where are they getting it from?
it was a day's march away, or it
I
was a
figured it'd
day's.
be horseback.
It was a day's ride to get to Visnar. And then we spent maybe a day getting back and like murdering the village. So we've been gone like 2 to 3 days.
Right, I was muted. I was saying, while we were there, we said we stayed there for like a week.
Oh right, yeah, burning stuff and okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's almost like the Inquisition moved in right after you left.
Oh, good. Those assholes are gone. Let's go, boys.
Yeah. And what is your plan for dealing with the rot?
More superstition. It's nothing that that mages of my caliber can't handle.
A mage of your caliber can't even hit their mark.
I probably,
Unless you were aiming for my lovely dwarf. For actually, I'd probably go Her Highness.
Yeah. I probably shoot the mage a wink. Just like a little wave. Still standing there.
I think when
All
he
right.
says that the rot is superstition, I think Kate's going to take a step closer.
Are
Deep
you already
speech 'em.
gone? Are you already gone though?
Deep speech the Inquisition. That
yeah.
was a great idea.
I can.
It's they just called it superstition. Drop some
Oh, no,
fucking
you know what?
Rammstein.
Yeah, so that's actually what I think she's gonna do. She's gonna walk up to him, no weapon drawn or anything, cross her arms, and in deep speech, the rot is real. It is everywhere, and if you're too stupid to work against it, then you are an obstacle.
In deep speech, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
Part of
Then she's gonna kind of turn around and then motion towards where her wings used to be.
I'm pinching the bridge of my nose.
part of what I really like about the burning wheel is that might be like a steel test to see if anybody runs screaming from the room. Yes, Michael?
Interesting. So, the Inquisitor, as you begin speaking these unknown words to him, he takes a pinch of something from his pouch, from a belt pouch, and like sprinkles it in the air in front of him. No. You know what? He takes the thing, he breaks it in half, and he shoves it in his ears, and he mumbles a word. And then he pays more attention to you as you speak to him, and he says,
Comprehend languages, yeah.
and he turns to Sinrath and he says, if you cannot control your pet, we will evict it from the premises.
Did he say that in deep speech or common?
Common.
I speak that too, asshole.
You say that in common or deep speech?
I think it starts out in deep speech and then
but asshole is in common. It makes the Inquisitor makes a gesture like, see?
Hierarchically, we have more power than him. Like, we're Knights of the
Right.
Realm.
It goes from God to the Ash Wardens.
Yeah.
Right. But like, it's they're like 200 of you here, right?
No, I get, like, real politic-wise, we have less power. But, I mean, I think I just disregard him at this point.
Okay.
Like, it's suspicious as fuck. They're bringing grain shipments into the city, and I don't trust a single grain shipment. Also, he's acting like the exact same kind of pompous ass that Halfling probably did, so...
So Countess Margaret sighs uncomfortably and eventually stands back up to her full height, and in attempts to regain her composure, and she achieves that air that certain nobles do of being both supremely in control of themselves and in control of the room, and begins to apologize to the Inquisitor. Saying yes, I understand that you feel wrong to the situation. We do owe you a great debt for your contingents of grain, and no, of course, we would not want that to end and for our people to starve. Clearly, there has been a misunderstanding here, and we'll work to resolve it to everyone's mutual satisfaction.
Would you allow these good people to starve, Inquisitor?
And he turns back and forth between you and the Countess briefly, and he considers words, and he says, if Lorca is unwilling to be saved, then it is the least...
Your words are as morally bankrupt as your aim. Or as
I'm trying to remember the words for this, and it's not this like dart. You know what I'm trying to say, right?
Yeah.
And if they're unwilling to save themselves, then it's the merciful thing to do to destroy the city.
Yeah. If they choose not to repent, then they choose to starve.
Right. That's it. Thank you.
Your words are as hollow as your aim is true.
But his words not hollow?
His words are fucking hollow as hell.
Okay. But his aim was true.
No.
Not true.
He missed because Voshla. So he's bad at magic and also bad at the speaking and the moralizing.
Gotcha. Okay. Fritz, what are you doing?
I have no idea why these people are arguing, but I'm considering whether or not I have the authority to I can't think of the right term, but to acquire their troops because he said he was willing to fight the rot. Commandeer, yes.
He said he's unwilling to fight
forcefully...
the rot.
No, he said that he has no problem for a mage of his caliber, so clearly...
Oh. That's a really good point.
I'm debating, I'm wondering, in a time of known rot infestation, I feel like we have some sort of authority by the king to acquire the needed troops to fight the rot.
God Emperor. But yes.
Yeah, God Emperor, sure.
All right, it's chosen by God, the Emperor, so yeah. I mean, yeah, you can levy armies as you see fit, but whether or not they listen is a bigger issue. Kaith, what are you doing as Fritz is considering doing a levy? Are you still here with your bow and just all feathers ruffled at the rudeness?
Oh, I didn't have a problem with him. I just wanted to call him an asshole. I think after that exchange, after I call him an asshole, she's gonna look over at Sen and do a little little wave, and then head out to go look at the grain.
If you let me, I'm gonna pat you on the head as you go by and guidance you.
Okay.
Because it requires physical contact.
That's fair.
All right, roll me something searchy while we can deal with Fritz for a bit. So are you going to levy the what's your plan here? What are you thinking?
Oh, sorry. I'm gonna roll perception on that.
Sorry. So the Countess was asking for plans on how to help her people, right? And clearly freeing more of these villages from the rot would be the most helpful, or the most beneficial thing. I mean, that frees up more farmland, we can get more people out there working to try to feed. So I'm going to basically provide this plan to the Countess. I mean, she needed more people to help free her land. We have a known rot infestation and a known actor in this area that seeking to further spread the rot. By the authority of the Emperor, We have a apparently willing and capable force here to help cleanse your land of the rot.
All right. He kind of looks over at the Inquisitor, and she says, "Well, it's a fairly direct plan. What do you say to lending your troops to the wardens in the meantime, or while to help restore order to these villages, far-reaching villages?" And the Inquisitor kind of grits his teeth and blanches, and he says, and then he stops for a minute and he considers, and he says, if you cede control of the villages to the Inquisition, then we will, of course, gladly let you borrow our troops to return them to their rightful place. And we will merely take a levy of 10% from the village production.
You seem quick to demand tribute from the villagers for something that you said was what now? Shit, I already forgot what he actually did say. Wasn't quite a myth. What did he call it?
Superstition.
I think I think he might have actually said it was a myth or superstition or something.
Oh. You wish to reroute my soldiers on a snipe hunt, and if we do, you wish to use my soldiers in a snipe hunt to restore order to villages fallen to chaos due to a weak rule. And you can see Countess Margaret kind of like narrow her eyes briefly at that, like a twitch of the eye sort of thing for Sinrathi was ranks and insight. And once we restore order, of course, we will be invested in keeping it. So we will want to send a brother or sister to watch over our flock and ensure that they do not continue to go astray.
So you think that the villages have merely rebelled?
Well, when such discipline is as lack as it is here, people will revert to their old superstitious ways, fearing what's in the dark, worshiping the flame, and otherwise forgetting the lessons that it is discipline and order and hard work and the flesh that makes things stable and continual and prosperous.
If it is, as you say, the rebellion of a youthful village, then you would seem to be justified in what you ask. But if it is not that at all, if it is actually the rot as I insist it is, and will be once you and your knights visit these villages with us, then perhaps you'll forego your request for tithe and do your duty to the land to see that the rot does not spread and perhaps find its way to your borders one day.
Hearing, if it is indeed the rot, and it takes the Inquisition to shore up the failing sides of the Ash Wardens in order to get their job done, then I think that's a fair trade. Knowing that you had to rely on our arms and armor as opposed to being able to do your job yourselves. Relics of a bygone era.
I care not for your justifications for why you help, merely that you help.
Actions speak louder than your empty moralizing. Your empty proselytizing.
Keith,
Probably.
Keith, why are you glad you're not the face of the party?
Because he wouldn't
would've
have
shot-
one right now.
I would have shot everyone in the room 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Do what I want. No, shoot. Basically, that's the way bird people work.
That's not a good, like... I think that's the Hobbesian society. Especially since birds are already short.
Yeah, well, sometimes sometimes it works.
Also, you sound like you're coming through a different mic, maybe?
Yeah.
How about now?
Better.
That's better.
Yeah, it doesn't stay up sometimes. Anyway, it's fine. I'm glad someone is handling the thing that I am terrible at.
Okay. So the Countess turns back to you, Fritz, and says, so it sounds like you've resolved this issue to your satisfaction, and you two will play nice until my lands are restored to the way they were. Well, not my lands, the lands I'm stewarding over.
Indeed.
Good. Go forth, do that. Solve these problems. Dig out the bandits wherever you may find them. Solve the problems that we have with the vermin stealing grain shipments. Bring order back to these failing villages.
I think Andrew has to say that out loud.
I'm gonna kill this fucker with so much kindness. I want to get a bathtub, fill it with kindness, and drown him in it. I want him to get infected and then come crawling to me and for me to save him so that he knows.
How about when he comes to save, he asks you for saving, decide that he's beneath your notice and send him to the apprentice healer.
No, he gets the same treatment as anybody else infected.
Really? I thought you were gonna be like, I'll look down and say no.
Sir, do you know what you're suffering from? A lack of faith and an abundance of superstition, and then turn around and walk out of the room.
An abundance of superstition? What?
He said the rot is a superstition, so if
Yeah.
he has it, then, he just needs to believe harder.
Gotcha. Yeah. All right. Yeah, the Inquisitor turns to you, Fritz, after the Countess returns to. Actually, she retires. She says, "Great, look, that's going to be getting handled, taken care of. I'm going to go lay down for a little bit, or no, I'm going to retire to my chambers. Right, that sounds less weak." And the Inquisitor turns to you and says, "I will let you borrow company of my soldiers, and let me know when we ride forth, and I will prove to you the obsolescence of the Ashen.
Oh yeah, well, we'll let you know when we ride. I have nothing else for him.
End conversation. Fritz says, "I should go." Turns and leaves.
I'm gonna go check in on this Tomas guy who I apparently have a coin, like a voucher for.
Yes.
Yeah.
But first, Keith, with a 19 perception, you wandered off to look at some grain shipments.
Mm-hmm.
So, tell me a little bit about the process that you're using for that. Are you just like going to go look around yourself? Are you going to go read through some documents? Or are you going to go find somebody and tie them up and like rub your feathers in their face and tell you that they tell you what you want to know? Or
I think it's like I stop the cart. I'll say, "Where is this coming from?" And then, like, once they answer, before they even get to the part where they're like, "Wait, why are you stopping us?" I've hopped in the cart and I'm seeing if any parts of the grain resonate with me?
So you're gonna wait for the next shipment, or
Well, yeah, I don't know if it's if there's one that's arrived and hasn't been distributed yet or anything, but yeah, hop in and poke around and see if any of it reaches out to rot me.
okay. So the carts and drivers are not of the same ostentatiousness as the halfling that was driven the cart into Visnar was. It has the livery of the Inquisition, red with the gold for fleur-de-lis or something on it. I haven't figured out that logo yet. And the people that are driving the cart are devout believers in the powers of the hand, right, and the work of flesh and bone, and the effects of blood. And they say, oh well, this is this is the tithe from other towns that we distributed to those in need. And it's not like the other grain shipment that was in Visnar that was intentionally like filled with horribleness.
Yeah.
Right. If some of it has seeped in here and there, it's not. No one's trying to spike anything. There's no like intense levels of resonation.
Okay.
But there is like. It's old. It's not rotten, capital R, but it's withered, lowercase w.
Okay. So it's starting to decay, but it's not rot.
Right.
Okay. How old is this?
Well, we've had to come a great distance via cart.
Congratulations. How old is this?
They turn to each other and like, we don't truck with writing, Lady Bird.
She's a free bird.
That is the weirdest measurement of time I've ever heard. Let's try again. How old is this?
We've been on the road for several days.
Wow. Good job. Thank you.
It was several more days before that when it was given to us, and it was, harvested several days before there and brought to distribution points in, I don't know, several weeks.
Okay, well, it's starting to rot, so make sure it gets used soon. Not rot, not capital R rot, but it's going bad. It could be bread.
Don't worry. The capital R rot is simply a superstition spread by locals.
I'm gonna stop you there. You don't want to do this. Do you want to do this?
It's enlightenment will teach people that rot is not a thing to be feared. Merely
deep speech time. Exposure to the rot will teach people that the rot is real, but sometimes it's too late. Luckily for me, it wasn't. See, I used to have wings. They used to go right here. They got burned out when most of the rot did. Most of the rot, it's still inside me, and if you want, I can try to expose you to it.
But they don't understand because it's in deep speech.
Right.
Roll me a d20. If you roll less than 10, they'll just screaming. I like the metal check that Sinrathi had mentioned.
7.
Right. They run scared from the tiny bird with the missing wings that's speaking in tongues.
She's going to sort of try to flutter to the front bench part of the cart and then drive it towards where it's supposed to go.
Really, really quick. So Keith is a small creature. How tall is she?
I think 3 feet tall.
Okay, so I'm actually taller than you.
Mm-hmm.
I think dwarfs are medium creatures. Like, they're not.
Yes, I am medium.
Yeah.
I'm 4 foot something.
Yeah.
You're a 5-foot cube of flesh.
Yep.
Oh,
Congratulations.
God,
If you behave, I'll make sure that the cube is, right side out.
Right side out. Right, yeah. I mean, it's, you got your equipment and everything. It's not, creepy.
It's got
It's
a
not
bell.
a creep 5-foot cube.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kate, you drive it to the Teamsters or whatever that are handling the grain distribution. And a lot of it gets baked into bread and
Mhm.
mulled into beer. I don't know if you mull beer. You know what I mean?
You could do something with it.
Yeah.
Just she'll say, make sure it's processed. It's starting to go bad. Thank you for what you do in helping to take care of the town.
Oh, I mean, we move boxes, bird person. We don't. I mean, you're welcome.
All
Does
right,
your
Thank you
town
for-
use money?
Yes, we all use money here.
How many people are by her?
Like a handful. It's like when like trucks pull into a lot where there are people waiting to unload them.
Mhm.
There's like 6 people just like kind of hanging out because that's what they do.
She's going to distribute like 10 coins amongst them and say, thank you for what you do. The Ashen Empire appreciates all its citizens.
Thanks you for your service.
Yes. I know it's not much, but sorry. It's it's the best I could do.
Somewhere in the city, a rumor begins that bird people are made of gold.
So I get songs and like awesome superstitions about me.
You get
So
a bunch of people asking if you're the golden goose.
I like it. But yeah, she's just gonna like hop down and say, okay, bye, and then I don't know, just leave the cart and try to regroup with the group if they're still in the same place.
You leave the keys in the horse; it's still idling.
Just
Well,
wait, is it a donkey? Because when we back it up, it goes hump, hump, hump.
Your sound effects game is strong. Thank you.
Thanks.
So I got to take a note of this so I remember.
Bird
I have to go to
has horrible, terrible reputation in the Inquisition, and the people love her.
which super fits with my
It's a way to do it.
thing.
Yep.
Anyway, I'll be right back. I have to go to the bathroom.
This is where we put up the after these messages. We'll be right back.
Back.
I have a screen for that.
All right, let's take 5. Let's do the thing where everyone takes 5.
Okay.
I need more alcohol.
What is it about my games that make people drink? I don't understand.
Oh no, it's super not just your games.
I just had an innocent gun in the fridge, so I'm drinking an innocent gun that was in my fridge. It's a very good beer.
Oh, is it the Vancouver brewing?
No, this is the one that you had last Sunday.
Oh yeah, I liked that.
It's good times. All right, I'm gonna mute myself and.
Okay.
Oh no, everybody's gone.
Yeah, I put up the hold image and put us on
Oh,
a quick
okay.
break. Although we're still making noise, so we're entertaining people.
Good.
Can catch just chunks of that video.
Sorry, that was loud. There you go.
What was that
Wow,
video? Like, I heard it in the kitchen, and it's like, what is that?
Go down. I like that it's just a weird VR wrist. Yeah.
It's Bridge Crew.
Yeah.
wait, where video?
In
Yeah.
Roll20, there's the link.
Okay.
I think the best part is just the description in Twitter. I don't think we're ready for space.
That's too many dimensions for most people to handle.
I mean, also, I took us off the hold image so people can see us again.
Okay.
Anyways.
All right. All right.
That's
All
amazing.
right. Do you want me to rotate?
I have no idea what we were talking about. What were we talking about again?
Teamsters and a reputation for Kaith.
Right, we're
Yeah.
playing not Star Trek's Bridge Crew, we're playing something else. Okay, got it. All right. Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. All right. So, yeah. So the Teamsters, I successfully stirred the. Yes. Okay. Cool. Liked by goblin humans both. Okay. And I think Snarthy said that they were returning to look at something to do with the.
Gonna go hang out with Tomas.
Yeah.
Also gonna
Um,
update our quest log manually. Done.
My God, the time you have to put into that.
So yeah, what do you? I believe that when last you left them, they were either gun acts.
Yes, for Yorha,
Yeah.
Yeah.
who is lost in the mines, I guess, and nobody noticed.
Lost in time and space. They were just delayed. They'll be back later.
Went to go see his dragon wife.
Been abducted by the dragon wife is a strong
Yes.
side episode candidate.
What happened? He's fine. I promise. All right. Yeah. So, Ashen Thomas looks to be in a little bit better spirits than they were when you left them, which was pretty downtrodden and kind of pining.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, nothing.
Just pining for the fjords.
Yes.
Well, I was gonna say that Sunrathi and I didn't meet him because
Yeah.
we just went to the tavern.
Yeah, we hung out with the poor people.
Yeah.
Phew. But Fritz and Yorha did.
Yeah.
So Ashmith Thomas is a moderately tall person, male, human male of effectively not like cut muscles, but like he has forge smith muscles, like slab upon slab upon slab.
Yeah.
He's not like super defined or anything, but he's roughly the size and shape of a like refrigerator.
Checks out.
Is he
and
more like the 5 foot cube of flesh?
well, I mean, if you've seen Full Metal Alchemist, he's like teacher's
oh
husband.
no.
Okay.
Oh, a fridge with a head.
Yes.
A 5-foot cube of meat.
Yes. Well, like 6 foot by like 3.5 foot by 3.5 foot.
Yeah, that works out. So does he.
Yeah.
Yeah, I work out. Yeah, I work out. All right, yeah. So and they've got like long hair that's pulled back and like a beard. And on warm days like today, as they work in the forge, like they seem to always be doing, it's like a cup of water for the blade or the barrel of the gun that I'm working on, and a cup of water for me or my face.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll put my clothing because that's how this works.
Okay. I mean, I'm given what Andrew knows of his rank and position, I'm guessing like he's probably pretty instantly recognizable as a member of our order. And I think I just want to talk to him a bit about like the Inquisition and make sure like we'll just see what's up with his take on them is. So I'll probably let him finish like whatever fine work he's doing, and then when he looks up and notices, or if he doesn't for like a minute, then I'll cough to get his attention.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, this is the guy that sold you this beer.
It's cool.
You got it for a token. So they stop what they're doing. When you come over and you're bearing the colors of the Ashen Empire, the Ash Wardens, and what's your specific questions are specifically? And he greets you like in the normal way, like fire and thunder. I think it was one of the things we mentioned. Yeah. Lord and Savior Sinrathi. Awesome. I'm reading chat. It's a good time.
You should always read chat.
Yeah. Read the chat. They say honk honk. Wait, where's the train? I don't hear any train.
It came by earlier.
It came and went.
Yes.
All right. So, what are you asking? You wanted to get his take on the Inquisition?
Yeah, and like when they showed up, and yeah.
I mean, they showed up shortly after you left, offering to bring in grain and feed the town, while the Ash Wardens were off doing their thing. They were not. It's not uncommon for the Inquisition to just show up whenever they're needed. It seems like. And he doesn't really mean whenever they're needed, right?
Yeah.
They always seem to be
where they're needed, right when they're needed.
Right. And there's always a hook in the piece of meat that they're offering you.
I've noticed.
Right? It's always join us, and you all, give us 10% tithe, or seeding land. They're very fond of taking over facilities, pre-built facilities, to use as their headquarters in areas. And I'm not saying that the Ash Wardens are totally clean of this sort of thing. I mean, I am here to make sure that the Countess remembers her place in the hierarchy of things, and also make her guns. But
well, would I know what like our official stance on them is?
I mean, you're officially like antagonists.
Okay.
Right. Although the Ash Wardens are descended from a divine being, right? The concept that Ashley was divine, and that the emperor of the kingdoms of Ash and Rod is divine. And the Inquisition standpoint is no, he's not.
Okay.
And they control. They represent a substantial portion of the South.
I mean, if they can be useful, then it seems like our captain is going to use them, which is, quite frankly, a smarter tack than I had thought of, which is probably why he's captain.
You're the captain.
Just yeah, like I'm assuming, like I'm guessing there was probably some conversation of, hey, we went to go check out this Ashmith, and Sinrathi kind of just wanted to meet him, make sure he wasn't working himself to literal death, and yeah, get his take on things. You haven't. Do you know what they get out of coming here? Have they spoken with you at all? Their leader seems like a bit of an asshole and a hothead.
He's an asshole.
No, they've steered clear of me. I believe the Countess is selling some of my my wares to them. So,
Probably
Isn't that
inevitable.
illegal?
Also, yes. Well, legality is a funny concept when you're in an anarchic state.
right. And I'm not going to say that we're essentially trading weapons for grain, but that's kind of where we are right now.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, our duty is to the people of Lurka. If we can make these impious dogs do tricks for us, then so much the better, but I would like...
I will not miss them when they're gone.
I don't know if they're leaving, is the problem. But we can cross that bridge when we get to it. Yeah. Mostly just wanted to check in. And I'm going to, like, reach out to shake his hand. And then if he takes it, then give him guidance.
Yeah, of course. He'll even put down the hammer to shake your hand.
Okay.
My God.
I mean, yeah, it's good to meet, like, another person unafraid to work with their hands.
I probably like say something like an agreement as I'm admiring his work on the wall or something.
Yeah, so for the most part, it's just like rifle after rifle after rifle. Not rifle, sorry. Musket after musket after musket. That's just being kind of piled up and thrown in the... Not thrown, but like... There's a copious number of low-grade firearms that Fritz kind of like try to talk him out of. And there is a suit of armor cut for a more petite person that has been kind of stood up to the side. And the masterpiece that Ashmith Thomas made to get the name Ashmith was a rotating barrel cannon of sorts.
Oh, yeah, the Gatling gun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, lovely.
Which they keep around as well. Very, very not Gatling gun, really. It's just lots of barrels and a crank to fire them with.
Yeah.
And the work is solid, but for the most part, it's workhorse sort of stuff. It's not like intricate details. Although I believe the first convinced them to take their time and more pride in their craft.
I tried at least.
And I'm sorry, I already forgot. You said there aren't any normal like martial weapons, like a sword.
I mean, there's nothing that says that he can't make them, but like, so he doesn't keep many on hand, and he's cranking out weapons in the hopes of, keeping Lorca afloat on arms sales at the moment. But I think all of you had a credit sheet essentially for spending on anything you like. So if there is like a sword that you're looking for, you could find one here.
A great sword.
You want a great sword?
Yeah.
I got a pretty good sword.
Great space sword?
A great sword.
Got a miniature giant great sword here.
Name it Boo, and it only swings for the eyes.
That's right.
So I just went to look up what armor I can use, and apparently it's none.
Rare.
That checks out.
If I were a dwarf sorcerer or a dwarferer, then I could use medium armor and cast spells, but I'm not. So I just have fire resistance and spooky eyes.
Human dwarf raised by dwarfs.
That's why you have a meat shield.
Yep. Yeah, who needs to be a dwarf when you have a dwarf bodyguard?
I have somebody for that.
That is a good move in a playbook in Dungeon World.
I have someone for that.
Yeah, I don't know what playbook that is, but that is an excellent move.
It's like a bard move, guaranteed. Or like
Maybe, or
or in Apocalypse World, if you're the hard holder, or like someone with a gang or a clan, or like, you know.
Yes, I have someone for that. Or like
Yeah.
the Queen in Monster Hearts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the anyone who has like starts out with a gang in Apocalypse World.
So, Vashel, is there like any specification you're looking for, like a certain type of great sword, or like fancy one, or just like, here's one, off the shelf too.
I mean, I'm not even sure what I could specify wanting for it.
I mean, off the shelf is going to be what you see in the book, and then fancier is going to be like +1 or otherwise magical.
Oh no!
We've also made the hammer cannon thing that we need to spec out probably.
Ham can.
Maybe I could. I don't know if Fritz would be down for collaborating with him. That could help inspire him to be more creative, I guess.
Oh yeah, Fritz would have no problem working with him.
Okay, I probably have my coin go towards that so that I could have.
You're cutting out, Jordan? Or is this me?
I could get it sooner.
Accelerated timetable.
Yeah.
So, would you give your left arm for a hand cannon?
No, this is the wrong character to ask. me
Oh, I'm
that.
sorry, wrong character. My bad.
I can give you some coins if it'll help.
I could also give some coins. Like I didn't use the token, and I have some gold.
I can throw my token at it because I can get literally nothing of use from this man.
Okay. I mean, I think 2 tokens are plenty sufficient to make a multi-purpose weapon that is effectively a ranged weapon and a melee weapon, all in one.
Yeah.
That's good for Daytona Racing and Chuck E. Cheese. It should be good enough for a cannon.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, there you go.
Oh.
Daytona Racing's like a 2-price one too. It's an expensive one. Yeah, so you're set, Vashla. They'll make the hammer before you leave for the next adventure.
You have a Mercury hammer. Congratulations.
Do I get speed
Don't
gates?
drink it.
You get speed gates?
One of Jace's abilities is he drops down like a little thing, and if you run in through it, then it gives you a speed boost briefly.
He gives you zippers?
Basically.
Cool.
And if he shoots through it, then like it does like the shot combo kind of from Unreal.
Mm-hmm.
Not really, but anyways.
One of my favorite champions.
All right, so Keith and Fritz, is there anything that you all want to do while you're here?
Just hang out with the blacksmith guy. Say hey. Tell him the spear's real cool, but I've been mostly shooting things.
Shooting hoops. Your vert used to be better though.
Wow, too soon.
I've heard tell of certain blacksmiths of incredible skill, being able to make metal planks upon which people could glide for short periods of time.
Huh. That'd be cool. Do you have anything that's like arrows but better but not bullets? Like I want to be able to fire it out of a bow. This bow still, but I want it to be like more.
Like trick arrows?
I mostly want them to just like punch through people.
Arrow with a boxing glove. Got it.
Currently, I can mostly punch most of the way through your average person, but I want to guarantee it. I want to do all the way.
Right. Well, usually I'd tell you that you just want a bigger powder charge behind your shot.
Mm-hmm. I guess the thing for that would be I would just have to get stronger, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Or you can get fancy arrows.
Do you have fancy arrows?
I probably do.
And she gets her coin pouch and then dumps it on the counter and she goes, "How many fancy arrows can how many fancy arrows will you sell me for these?" People like these, I'm finding. I don't know why.
Where are the
Do
magic
the
items in
bird
this
people
game
not
book?
have currency?
Yeah, I was gonna say also, wouldn't she find it really shiny and probably be more obsessed with it than normal people?
Not
She's-
a magpie.
She's real into her bow and the things she can do with it, so handing people shinies to do more good bowing is acceptable.
Huh. +1 ammunition is actually pretty easy to come by.
Neat.
Will $20 be enough?
Congratulations, Keith. You get to start tracking ammo.
What's $1?
Ash bucks in this empire.
No, it's Ash Cash. Come on.
Ash cash or
Oh,
grass.
jeez.
No one divines for free. We're all terrible.
Oh, interesting.
Fritz,
You have a
save
bonus
us.
attack and damage rolls made with a piece of magical ammunition. The bonus is determined by the rarity of the ammunition. Once it hits a target, the ammunition is no longer magical.
Oh. Okay. How many
So,
can I buy for $20?
Wait.
I have 20 coins, Jordan. Shut it.
I mean, a fifth?
A fifth of one?
Probably, yeah.
Okay, can I just
It's
have
a
the pointy end?
It's a vial, like sort of thing, that
Mm.
you dip your arrowheads in to make them hit harder.
Oh.
It's red. It looks like red water. The red makes it go faster.
Yeah,
Mm.
makes them go faster.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess I'll come back if I manage to get back to here and not give all of this away to people. Okay, thanks. And she tries to scoop it back into her pouch.
It's like a grub or something. Oop, saving that for later.
Gobble, gobble, gobble.
That one's lucky.
What's
And
his
he also
name?
tells you like the beginning of the process of making this stuff, and it's distilled, not violence, but what you do is you take you practice for a long time with an arrowhead, and you get it used to hitting the target right every time, and then you use a solvent to like break that down into its component pieces, and use magical mumbo jumbo, which is the exact thing that Ashmith Thomas calls it, magical mumbo jumbo, and boom, you've got enchanting arrow juice.
Oh, okay. So you have to distill stuff. Okay. No, I get it. I'll try that. Thanks. And she goes to the tavern and buys 5 gold worth of ale to dip her arrows in.
Do you have any red ale?
Can you make it red? Can you put like red in it?
He just punches it down.
Now I'm just thinking of Red Truck Lager.
I'm thinking you got red on you. Fritz, what you got?
I don't think I have anything special right now. I think this is probably one of the scenes where Fritz is working on his next wondrous item.
I thought it was going to be the hammer cannon with Thomas.
Oh yeah, that's definitely
Yeah.
part of it too.
All right, then the can hammer is done by the time the next day rolls around, and you already ride out with your borrowed contingent of Inquisitor troops.
Sweet.
Do we have a lead on another area that's gone quiet? I mean, there's like 8 or 9 around.
Exactly. And you can just come up. You just pick whatever everyone's closest and head that way. There's one to the northwest of here.
I mean, is this the sort of thing where I can pray to like have guidance towards a thing? Pray to have God tell me where rot is so I can
Excuse me.
destroy it in their name?
Yeah.
Neat. Well, first I give myself guidance, which is a 1. Yay! And that probably feels like a religion.
Praying?
Divine guidance in the cleric book.
Boop.
Holy shit!
Wow, was it a 20?
Yes.
Yep.
Plus
Very
1
nice.
for guidance. I prayed real good.
Does
Good
this
boss.
sway some of the Inquisitors?
Oh, I'm totally praying into Matthias's book, and if anyone tries to take it, they're getting like, I'm gonna just rotate. Just they can't grab it.
I don't think
Just
many of them
continue
would be
rotating.
allowed too close to you.
Or
So there's
that.
a dozen of these musketeers, for lack of a better word.
Mhm.
They have muskets with bayonets that are not affixed currently, and they ride on horseback, and they've got like a long knife as a backup weapon, and they're all there's 12 of them, and they refer to each other as brothers and sisters,
Mhm.
like first brother, third sister, sort of thing. So I'm thinking like for the weapon, like I'm thinking a versatile warhammer for the warhammer e-bits, and then I believe there is already stats for like.
I was also thinking that since she already has the hammer and shield, this might be more like a maul,
Yeah.
sort of two-handed heavy thing.
Only like a 2d6 damage on it.
Yeah. That
Okay,
probably has
makes
like a 2d6 range attack like my gun, but has maybe a certain set number of charges that need to be recharged. Like it's like using the golem power core probably needs time to recapture.
I like
Maybe
that.
from like kinetic, like it's swinging it around and just walking.
I'm also going to say that you can expend multiple charges to set off like little grenadey things.
So what exactly would I need to keep track of?
Just how many times you've used it in an encounter.
Okay.
Like
So
call it 6 shots. You get 6.
Okay.
It's more
And
than
if
enough to
you
kill
use-
anything that moves.
That's much
Yeah.
worse than I would have said. I would have said 3, but
Yeah.
I was thinking 3 too.
Okay, 3 shots, and for 2 shots you can spend double for a grenade-like effect.
Spend double. Like. Oh, okay.
Is- Also, per encounter or per rest?
it's probably like a short rest
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
recharge.
2 short rest.
Or critical, since it recurs a kinetic energy. If you get a
Ooh.
crit, it like gives a free ammo back.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's great. Let's do that.
That's yeah.
It's
And then
dramatically
a whole-
interesting. Do it.
You got a whole stat block for this thing.
I really want this thing to like evolve and become Vosh. This like
This is my.
it's your legendary
Boomstick?
weapon. You don't get
Yeah.
any more. Yeah. This is it
It's
for
my
this
paragon.
expansion.
No, it's my paragon.
But there's only one of them.
Paragon tier. Dash to the Stampede is also real strong, Keith. Well done.
You need another one if you want to have it be a Paragon.
Yes.
And then we get you a third one, and it can be Trigon.
Draw, partner.
And then we get sued.
Okay.
Can't copyright the number 3, Jordan.
I mean, you can.
You can't be like, okay, what if there's a gun, but there's 3 of them? They can't be like, fuck you, go to jail. Like, that's just counting.
Go to gun jail.
That's how numbers work.
It's a jail made of guns. All right. Where were we? Gun jail.
I was praying at some nerds,
Yeah.
and
Okay,
we were stat blocking out a hammer.
Yeah. I think that's good stats for the hammer. We can come back to that later, unless you have any questions now, Ashla.
I can just ask it in chat. It's fine.
Okay.
Oh, I have one thing that I want to see if I can use my token on.
Yeah.
I want some sort of travel anvil.
Sure, that sounds great.
Okay.
If you can make it rhyme, it's free.
Is
Manville's anvil.
Tranville.
it on wheels, just like in a little red, like
No, it just goes in my bag.
little red wagon?
I
just
now like
tossed
the
it.
idea of the travel anvil being essentially a suitcase with like a wheels or like a roller suitcase. When
Maybe
you're
it's
ready,
made
you
out of
unzip
like,
it, and you like the inside. There's just an anvil on the inside.
maybe
Fritz
it's
has a
made of
bag
like titanium or something that's like durable but like light.
Yeah, no, I don't know how much he talks about it, but Fritz just puts things into this bag, and for some reason, it never seems to get any bigger, and he seems to carry it with no problem. And he just seems really strange.
That's bizarre.
Yeah.
All right,
I
hold
might have
on.
rented a- What?
No, I'm just a bad joke. I was holding.
No, but yeah, Fritz has a bag of holding. He made
When-
one.
Because Artificer.
Artifice
Yeah.
does that.
I just made one.
Wait,
We were in the village.
Yeah.
can you make me cool arrows?
I mean,
Did you
yeah.
ask?
I just did, just now, right now, with my mouth. With my beak, I asked if he could make arrows.
I mean, if we attached powder charges to the end of a arrow.
Just shoot dynamite.
Okay, but what if I fall?
This is don't
Let's
Why-
do it.
don't fall.
Why would you fall?
Have you tried not falling? Should I engineer you like a harness so you don't fall?
I used to be more graceful. It's a backpack with like little wheels on the front and
No,
back.
it's
so I
just
can
got a
jump
dozen
over.
gyroscopes on it.
There's like a vest that activates kind of like an airbag whenever Case trips.
Wait, do you do that weird bird thing where your head stays like in one position if someone like picks up and moves your torso?
That's how I managed to do real good at shoot.
That's super
My head and
creepy.
my
I love
body
it.
move independently of each other, basically.
Yeah, you should see them hang upside down. That's real weird. It's just like, whoop. I can't do it with my poor human anatomy. All right, so you all right forth? Oh, so Sinarthi's praying. So you prayed a whole lot, and you found a spot that you think on the map that looks like needs help.
Yeah. Well, and like has rot, so I can show these idiots that they're wrong.
If you're not spending this entire trip trying to convert them, I don't know what you're doing with your time.
I don't know that like
Like gentle guidance kind of thing.
Yes.
That seems to be your thing.
gentle guidance. Yes, I don't make you do the dishes. I make you want to do the dishes.
Stockholm syndrome. You're trapped with me for this entire ride. You'll love it by the end.
I'm not locked in here with you.
Also, we all can't ride forth. There's gonna be a bunch of us.
I heard that, and I'm just sailing beyond. So the musketeers, the brothers and sisters, the dogs of war, if you will, ride separate from you. They don't ride with you. They don't talk to you if at all possible. And the Inquisitor is like between you and them, leaving enough room for like
Jesus.
God damn it!
right, but like the opposite of that, leave enough room for people to have their space. or something.
Atheismo.
Right.
Checkmate.
And God damn.
Aaron, I'm sorry. Come back.
Anyways,
Moving
yeah,
on.
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So
So,
the wizard with terrible aim is riding in the middle.
Yeah, the Wizard in Table Aim, I guess, technically is riding second or third, and the Inquisitor's riding fourth.
Yeah.
Or the Musketeers riding first, this side. And after about a day's worth of ride, Are you going to get there at dusk, or are you going to camp and get there in the morning?
I'm happy to put it to them. Oh, sorry, you said we rode out like the next morning?
Yeah.
Cool, so long rest?
Yeah.
Swag.
No, I would imagine there's probably a lot of humans, and like people who don't have night vision, so probably arriving.
Yeah.
They probably want to camp and arrive in the morning, and that seems reasonable for
Yeah.
entering hostile territory.
I'll stand watch.
Did we say that my cannon could be strength?
I mean, yeah, that'll be like for smacking people with it. Yeah.
No, I meant shooting. Because I
What?
think we were trying to decide if that was going to be dex, and then we talked about it being like lifting it and the kickback.
It
Yeah.
might be more of buckshot cone than precise bullet,
Yeah.
I think, is the goal.
Right. I mean, and that's fine for now. And if it becomes obviously disconcerting, then we can work on it.
Okay.
I mean, I think a significant drawback is going to be the fact that she can't shield while swinging
Yeah.
the hammer.
Right.
But yes.
And always limited shots. Right.
Cool. I'm going to because I'm assuming they also camp apart from us. Like this is some kind of high school dance, and we're terrifying women.
Yes. Yeah, they camp apart from you, and like the Inquisitor is always between you and their flock.
So I'm going to invite people over. Be like, we've got Fritz cooking. He's not half bad.
Okay.
And
persuasion.
oh, good.
I could do that.
Pasha's going to lure people over with Fritz's cooking.
Yeah, I mean, I worked in a mercenary camp. I know that these people are probably hungry. Just we're traveling on the road. Why not?
Please take guidance.
Also, I have proficiency in persuasion.
Neat.
Awesome. And a D4. So it's starting, right? It's not, you don't get anybody brain cracks yet. But they're clearly looking over at Fritz's, Deathclaw omelet while they're eating freaking hardtack. But there's no initial signs of a rift in the Brotherhood yet.
I really wish I could conjure wind to waft the smell of actual spice over.
You've got thaumaturgy, right?
I do.
So I mean, the very worst, you can create a wind baffle that draws air towards them or something.
Yeah. I don't think I do, just because I'm probably gonna try to take the high road here.
You make the cooking
What's
fire
that?
pink.
Sorry, take down the what here?
I'm gonna try to take the high road here, and
Okay.
not yeah.
Gotcha. So it's not super long until you run into a town, the town on the map, and the town's called House on the Hill. And it is literally there's an old house there on the hill with that's not really much bigger than all the other ones, but it is clearly the oldest. And there are many village houses and rings around it, concentric rings around it, just kind of built within sight of this house on the hill. What there is not is a lot of sign of people. There doesn't appear to be basically anyone here. There's no people in the villages, and as you get closer to the town to investigate, you see that they've holed themselves up inside that house in the hill. and they've got like pitchforks, like a butcher's cleaver lashed onto the end of a stick, sort of thing. So it's all rudimentary, all makeshift weaponry, no firearms. Actually, no, that's the scene, and whatever you want to do from there is up to you.
What do we do, Cap?
Sorry. So there's this person with makeshift weapons that seems perfectly healthy, or not perfectly healthy, but not rot.
They seem not.
It's tough to tell. They have sequestered themselves inside the house.
Oh, they're in the house. I missed that bit. Sorry. My audio's been cutting in and out tonight for some reason. Do we have a town name?
House on the Hill.
That's the whole name is House. Okay.
Yeah, all the shitty villages are going to have weird ass names because I think that's cool.
They weren't fancy enough for good names.
No, all the towns with the good names fell to the rot, and all that's left are the new towns.
Not even the rot bothered to stop here.
Welcome to Placeburg. It's technically here.
I mean, the rot better be here, otherwise we wasted our time coming here.
If the rot isn't here, I'm going to have some words with my non-existent god.
Yeah.
Please.
I want to hail the denizen of the house on the hill. We're here as emissaries of the Countess or members. We're the Ash Warden's here to drive the rot from the land. Do you?
So, as you get closer, there's like a little boy on the roof, like with his hand, like watching your approach. And as you make it clear that you're heading toward, he jumps up and like scurries in through an upstairs window and runs down the stairs. And eventually, like you can see like the shutters drawn, and you can see people poking out, like looking at that, and looking out at you. And eventually, the door kind of like rattles open, and like it's stuck on its hinges, so like it makes this god awful creaking sound as it's shouldered open by a bald man of kind of average height, average build, and he is holding like a rolling pin. And like a baking sheet that he strapped leather to as like a shield, a makeshift shield. And he kind of like threatens you with the rolling pin.
I put my hands up.
Not a cutting board. You could get that full sword board going on.
I like that, but it's too late.
Yeah,
the kitchen accessories have spoken.
Yeah, I'm just gonna stand vaguely in front of, but also next to Zenrathy, but I don't want to do anything.
Who are you and what do you want?
As I said, I am Fritz of the Ash Wardens. We are here because we know the domains of, and I forgot the damn Countess's name again.
Margaret.
Oh, it was Margaret. Okay.
Personified.
Countess Margaret has asked us to drive the rot from her lands, and we have already helped one village as much as we can, and we are here to continue our quest.
Well, it's about damn time. It's been weeks or months since we called for help, and the only answer that we got in return was requesting an update on paying the tithe of grain.
I lament for the loss of time. Can you tell us what happened? We We never receive your missives.
And there is a howling sound from somewhere out in the fields, and the man blanches, and he says, "It's too late. Run while you still can!" And he runs into the house door.
Why do I feel like we've just walked into a game of Mafia?
Well, Inquisitor, I believe it's time to face your superstitions.
This Inquisitor kind of like does one of these things with his hand, and the musketeers form ranks. They break into a kneeling rank and a standing rank, and they get their guns at the ready, and they fix bayonets, and they do all those things that that fancy looking military folks do. And then they stand there as their wolves howling in the distance.
We might need to go find
Is there,
our quarry.
what's the highest point that? I mean, probably the house, but is there other like trees or anything in the area?
So it's how to describe this. So the village is essentially like stepped up hovels, right?
Okay.
Not hovels is a strong word, but like they are single room dwellings. None of them have 2 floors. They are centered around a
Hearth.
well, right? And there, if there's no obvious inn or tavern for these people to spend their time at, maybe it's somewhere else. And what's immediately available, apparent around here, is all of the large crops that are being grown. This is all very tall, all very, very thick crops, and they're going to seed. I think that's the right phrase. Where they've already past their peak edibility, and they're starting to resprout. Oh, to answer your question, are there any trees? There are trees nearby, but like the trees would be the tallest thing nearby. But there aren't any really trees in the hill. They were cleared off, so the house is the tallest thing.
Okay. Keith, if you'd be so kind as to see if you can give us a warning about where that noise is coming from, or when it's coming at us.
Sure thing, boss.
Do your thing.
About time. And then she runs off to go do her thing. I guess try to get to the best vantage point while remaining super stealthy.
Yeah. Roll me a perception real quick.
20.
20 is pretty good.
Sonny, this is my one thing.
So you get a good vantage point, like you get up in a tree or you get like real close with the south and stuff, and you can see a variety of scout humanoid. Sorry, my vocabulary failed on me. A variety of squat, thick humanoids. They remind you of like anti-you.
I'm immediately repulsed.
So they're like where you're all like willowy and graceful. They're like meat block torsos with arms that are as long as their torsos. They're like tiny, sort of like tiny, small gorillas. But they have giant bulbous noses and mouths that seem to encompass that are like in their chests, sort of thing. It's not there with like no neck. And they are all their coloration is like wrought orange.
Okay.
All I can picture right now is Krang.
I was going with Domo-kun.
Yes.
Ooh. Yep. Okay.
Orange
Guys,
ruddy Dormokun. That's what I was going for.
Jesus.
There's greasy and they're rotten.
Excuse me.
I imagine
Oh.
Domokun that run around constantly shouting like the suicide enemies in Serious Sam.
Jesus, so I conveyed everything I wanted to convey in one confused sentence. Like the Dunes music starts playing. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah.
Also, Vashla, I said they were greasy dwarves, which means regular dwarves aren't. We'll talk about this later. There's a bunch of them. How far away are they?
They're like a half mile away. They're not close, but
Okay.
they are moving fast.
Camera pans away, comes back, and just, that hurt my neck. Shouldn't have done.
Probably not.
Um,
But you suffer for your art, and we appreciate
yeah,
that.
I will convey number and direction and distance to the party, and I guess get ready. I might be able to use my Halo Thorns this time.
Yep.
If you shoot first.
Looking around the village, is there any odd damage that I can see?
Not to the buildings.
I'm just trying to see if I can get an idea of how these things might behave.
Is there anything that shows off like symptoms of being nearby a portal? Like a rot
No,
portal?
there is no sign of like the vegetation and the buildings here do not appear to be infected at all.
Okay. So it's probably, if there is one nearby, it's going to be where these
Half
things.
mile away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I set up a torch near me so I can light arrows on fire?
Yes.
I really
Okay.
like that. That's very clever.
I absolutely hate it, but I'm gonna do it. The whole time, Kaith is kind of just cursing under her breath. Fucking fire! God.
Now I wish I were a dwarf priest so I could put fear word on you.
Mm-hmm.
It's World of Warcraft vanilla deep cut for those of you playing the home game.
I appreciate it.
It's been too long since.
And
Actually, Keith, I might have something for you.
It's been like 12 years.
I swear, if it's a gun,
No, it's definitely not anything that nice.
It's a restraining bolt.
I was gonna say shots
You're
fired.
screening order. I was like, really, Gabe,
don't
you must
hurt
stay
them. We
within
want to
20 feet of me
interrogate
from
them
now on.
first.
That was Gwen's bullshit.
So, I have, as part of being a rock gnome, I have a ability to create a toy, and one of the toys is a fire starter. So basically, I can make you a lighter. So you don't have to reveal your position
So
via torch.
this fire
It's a
starter,
Zappo.
how does it work? Do you twist it?
Do you pop it?
Pull it.
It just says the device produces a miniature flame, which you can use to light a candle, torch, or campfire. This device requires your action.
Okay.
It's voice activated. You got to say that I'm the.
Okay, Siri, light a fire.
Eradicated.
I see it as something like that I can actually attach to the bow, and
Or
like,
on your belt.
I just click it, and like it lights the arrowhead before I fire it.
That's way better.
Yeah,
You
it's
just
actually
duct
strong.
tape it to the front.
To the handle, yeah.
It's goose adhesive. We don't have duct tape yet.
Like there's like this really weird like pattern of I can't read chat right now.
Nope.
Pattern between like feet and like hands and stuff as they kind of gallop on all fours into and through the village towards the like the main little strip of dirt that corresponds to the village square, and like some of them have stone axes that they're raising above their heads, sort of thing.
Can I get us to meet them not in the village so that like property doesn't get damaged?
Yeah.
Is it too
Sure,
late
you
for
can-
that?
No. I'm just like
Okay.
I'm speeding things forward because people
Yeah.
are talking.
Yeah. So yeah, I'd like to get us to like pull up ranks so that we don't, destroy this village. Let's try to save someone's property today.
Mhm.
All right,
Like,
you're gonna ambush them in the fields then.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to test this thing that Fritz made for me.
So you've got the four of you in a line with Vashla's hammer cannon,
Yeah.
hammer on.
Hammer on.
Yeah. And off to the side is the Inquisitor, kind of like walking behind his troops with like a riding crop sort of thing, like kind of smacking in his hands as they wait patiently in order and formation, ready to fire.
I can't wait for one of those things to just plow through a dozen of them.
Mhm.
And we will see that next week.
Rip.
Oh shit! It's almost 11 o'clock.
Cliffhanger.
Yes.
Balls.
It's not a cliffhanger. We're clearly sitting in a field.
Yeah. It's a hill hanger.
Yeah,
The
the
field
combat's going to
suspender.
take more than 20 minutes, and so
Yeah.
this is the perfect way to make sure that people tune in next week.
No,
The first round of combat would take 20 minutes.
Yeah.
your head just shows up like you assholes were gonna start without
Oh, no.
me.
The best thing is Vashla's gone and Yorha's here.
Yeah.
Yorha just comes out of the dwarf
Oh no! Oh,
tag in the area.
can I shoot it?
Vashala, you can roll. Yeah, you can roll to attack.
You get first blood. What do you say?
Wait, why?
Poe hammering. That's great.
Diggity.
Sorry.
Well, shit.
That's still pretty good.
What? I don't know what the grenade thing does, but I wanted to do that.
I
You wanna
think
do
it's
that.
probably AoE damage.
Yeah, it's 3d6 AoE damage.
Oh.
Fire.
Cool. Wait, really? Okay, so am I rolling that now? Or
Yeah, go ahead and roll it now.
I'm pretty sure 19 hits about anything at our level.
Yeah. All right, and that'll be 10 AoE damage to the target and everything within 5 feet. Which sounds like a shitload of
spaced
things.
5 feet apart.
Yeah.
Really weird. It's like a new.
They're
The rat
walking.
organizes everything in 6-foot increments.
Yeah, they're walking in anti-fireball formation because they've fucked up a couple adventures already.
No. Creatures like this have to walk in explicitly fireball formation.
There's just so damn many of them.
probably after I fire, I'm looking at the cannon. I like look at Fritz, like eyes lock, and I just like whistle in appreciation. Like, dang.
At Fritz. I mean,
Giving 2 thumbs up.
Yeah.
More, yes, this.
Yes. Okay. I'm sorry.
Kate,
Thank you.
it's only one shot.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Like
she's
that's-
gonna do that.
that's 2/3 of her ammo,
Yeah.
so she can do that half again.
Yeah.
Unless she gets a crit, and then she
I would-
reloads.
Yeah.
But at that point, do you really want to be grenading things if you've been hammering things?
No.
Because it's
As long as they're
probably
5 feet away from you.
is it just hammer crits or is it like
I would imagine hammer, because like I said,
Yeah.
it's the kinetic action that
Yeah.
recharges the power cell.
yeah?
Yeah. It works like brakes.
Oh, regenerative braking and yeah.
Yes.
I still think that's really clever and like very smart because that's just here's a basic principle of physics and we've applied it to anyways.
So yeah, you're on. Your shot lands in the middle of a group of them and explodes, and like several of them kind of go flying. They all get back up and continue charging towards you.
Greasy.
And thanks for listening, everybody. I hope you had as much fun listening as we had playing. If you tune in next week, same bat time, same bat channel. I'll be playing this game again, possibly. No, we'll be using this sort of UI again as well. We've got a Patreon if you like what you're hearing. You can find us over there. Also, we're on Twitch.
Right now.
Drop a subscription in the jar. Throw some bits our way. It's all wonderfully appreciated. Your kind words and delicious cash keep us sustained in the cold, hard southern wind. What is this? United States? No,
We've
North
also
America.
we've also
Winters.
right now got a mega campaign going on, which does take
Right.
public application. So if you want to roll dice with us, shoot us an email. We'll get you a link to our Discord, which we might want to make public somehow. I don't know how to do that yet, but we can figure it out. But yeah,
Yeah,
shoot us an
just-
email. We're thatdndpodcast@gmail.com. We can hook you up.
Yeah, or comment here on Twitch.
Also, if you
Me
like
too.
our stuff, we can take Twitch subs and bits now. So there's more ways for you to basically to slide your credit card against us.
Into our DMs.
That's right.
All right. Good
And,
night, everybody. We got weird.
Don't forget, we also do personal messages or whatever that is.
But do we do birthday parties?
I think that
I
Not
think
after-
if some-
Not
I think
after
having
last
people-
time.
I think having people show up to like do D&D for a birthday party would be rad as shit.
Wait, you just like crash somebody's birthday party with 5 nerds? You're like, get
Or
in,
just,
nerd.
like-
We're going to fucking Faerun.
Well, you just pick how many people you need, and then you just go. It's
There's
like,
a
all right, well,
there's a dude in
I-
Toronto who is a DM for people on demand full time.
you get
what?
decent amount of money too.
I think he's like $200 or $300 a session.
What?
Yeah.
A session?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
What? Why
divided
the
up
fuck am I doing IT shit?
divided among like 6 people. So-
mad.
Anyways, this is probably the end of the session. Good night,
All
everybody.
right, so guys, I'm falling apart. So